Have you ever felt like there's this silent ceiling on your income? Like, it literally doesn't matter how hard you're working or how many late nights you're putting in at the office, you just can't seem to break through. Well, welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a fascinating concept today that explains why some people just skyrocket to the top, while others, despite their relentless grinding, just stay totally stuck. We're going to look at exactly why true, undeniable competence has become the ultimate hard signal in today's economy.
Look, if you're working hard, but still hitting a wall, it's honestly probably a symptom of the world we live in right now. We live in a society that is just completely obsessed with appearances. I mean, think about it for a second. Followers? You can buy those in an instant. A luxury car? Rent it for the weekend. And job titles on social media? Oh man, they can be so massively inflated it's not even funny. Because of all this, traditional signals of success have become incredibly cheap. They're just so easy to fake, even when there's literally zero substance backing them up.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1. The illusion of status. So, the first major hurdle is just understanding the game we're actually playing here. The reason that silent ceiling exists for so many folks is because they're pouring all their energy into the illusion of status. They don't realize that playing an image game is a surefire way to lose to the people playing the ability game. On one side, you have this relentless, exhausting chase for fake status symbols. But on the other side, you have proven results. The real status symbol today isn't what you own or how many followers you have, it's what you're actually capable of executing in reality. While everyone else is busy buying the appearance of success, the real winners are quietly building actual capability.
That brings us to Section 2. Soft versus hard signals.
There is this core economic concept that absolutely separates the pretenders from the high performers. It comes down to soft signals versus hard signals. A soft signal is something like flashing a designer watch or living in a specific fancy zip code. Those are super easy to acquire if you just have a bit of credit or a temporary bump in your income. But a hard signal? Something like true competence and a proven track record? That is an entirely different beast. Competence is practically impossible to fake for very long, and it's incredibly easy to confirm. You either know how to fix a complex problem or you don't. Reality always reveals the difference. This all builds into what the source material calls the 10 levels of power. Let's look at the progression here. At step 1, you're essentially powerless, just a helpless product of circumstance, right? Others are making all the decisions for you. Then you move through being aware and then becoming active. But step 4? Step 4 is the absolute turning point, competence. This is the stage where your actions literally start bending reality. At this level, people actually start relying on you. They trust you with the big opportunities, simply because you've proven, through those hard signals, that you can actually deliver the goods.
In the past, we relied so heavily on degrees and diplomas to signal that we were capable. But let's be real. Today, those credentials are hyper-inflated. The market has completely shifted. Right now, the elite are exclusively looking for that rare individual who can actually move the needle when the pressure is on. They are hunting for the person who has put in those quiet hours to be truly effective in the backroom, because that's where the real structural moves actually happen.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, the surface knowledge trap.
So you might be wondering, why is real effectiveness so incredibly rare right now? Well, it's kind of the grand paradox of our time. We have more access to information than literally any other generation in human history, and yet deep, real competence is getting harder and harder to find. We call this the surface knowledge trap. Because it's never been easier to look skilled, people just stop at the surface. They watch a few videos, skim a few posts, and boom, they feel like absolute masters. They learn just enough to sound super confident and convincing at a short-term meeting, but because they completely skip the hard work required for deep mastery, they totally fall apart the second a situation gets complicated.
The truth is, true mastery isn't glamorous at all. It requires repetition, endless practice, staying with one boring thing long enough to understand it deeply, and most importantly, actually correcting your mistakes. It's a slow, super frustrating process. It doesn't give you that instant dopamine hit of social media likes, and that is exactly why deep knowledge has become such a rare luxury flex today. When everybody knows a little bit about everything, the person who knows a ton about something that actually matters, that person becomes an absolute gold mine.
All right, Section 4, surviving the pressure test.
So what happens when all that surface level illusion actually breaks? There is a really uncomfortable truth here. Corporate hierarchy, it honestly only matters when things are smooth sailing.
During the fair weather hierarchy, when the sun is shining, everyone cares about job titles, the size of your office, or how many followers you have. But the absolute second something goes wrong, like the market crashes or a major project totally falls apart, we instantly enter crisis reality. And let me tell you, the hierarchy shifts overnight. Everyone instantly stops looking at the guy with the biggest title and they defer straight to the person who actually knows how to fix the problem.
And this brings us to a really profound realization. Competence is the only status that survives contact with reality. Sure, confidence and a slick personal brand might open a door for you, but they stop working real quick if they aren't backed up by actual ability. Every single time you handle a high-pressure situation, the trust people have in you multiplies exponentially. Your reputation starts doing the heavy lifting for you, even when you aren't in the room. And that grants you a really stable kind of power, one built on proven effectiveness, not just 15 minutes of fame.
Let's get practical here. Section 5, building your skill stack. So how do you actually become that indispensable person? It all comes down to the repetition phase. It's about taking a task and carrying it all the way from beginning to end, especially when the middle part gets incredibly boring. You need to build a stack of high-leverage money skills. We're talking sales, negotiation, systems thinking, and rare technical depth. Notice what's not on that list? Yeah, this isn't about just following your passions. This is about identifying and mastering the specific abilities that the market actually writes checks for. These are the skills that multiply your output, making 1 hour of your effort produce massively more impact than it ever could before.
But look, I've got to give you the harsh truth. To get there, you must be willing to lock in for a tactical year of growth. You've got to practice your core skill for at least 1 hour every single day. No excuses. The most successful people on the planet know that their income is completely capped by how fast they can learn and execute. That 1 hour of daily, focused repetition, that is the absolute non-negotiable price of entry if you want to multiply your impact.
And during that time, you've got to embrace some serious tough love. You must be willing to look cringe. Seriously, you have to tolerate being totally ignored while you're grinding away in the learning phase. This quiet, highly unglamorous work of becoming dangerously good at what you do is the exact price you have to pay if you ever want to escape a mediocre life. You just have to be okay with not looking impressive today so you can be undeniably effective tomorrow.
This also means taking a really hard look at your current reality. If you want to stop just being an NPC and letting life happen to you, you have to deliberately upgrade your environment. Think about it. A seed cannot sprout in the shade of its old environment. You have got to put yourself in a room where high performance and wealth creation are just the default settings, not some crazy exception. We've covered a ton of ground today in this explainer, from the cheap illusion of the image game to the absolutely undeniable power of hard signals. The world doesn't just give you what you want. It gives you exactly what you are competent enough to take. So I want to leave you with one final provocative question to chew on. What is the one skill you will master this year to become dangerously effective? Make the choice today. Choose progress over appearances. Start putting in that unglamorous hour today and go build an undeniable legacy. Thanks so much for hanging out and learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.
Subscribe to Financial Wisdom Prime, your edge in money, power, and smart investing, where we break down the strategies the wealthy use to stay ahead.